Where did you grow up?
Athens, Georgia.
Wait, what else is in Athens, Georgia?
Those Bulldogs, but we don't have to talk about that.
Did you grow up a Georgia fan?
So I actually grew up an Auburn fan. My whole side of my mom's family grew up Auburn fans. My mom went to Auburn, so I literally grew up going to Auburn softball games. We had season tickets to the Auburn football games. I was a bat girl for the Auburn softball team. Honestly, it's kind of like a full circle moment coming to Alabama, but when you're choosing schools, the rivalry doesn't really matter to you.
Is it fair to say that you're from a very sporty family?
Yes, sir, I would say so.
Tell me, what are your earliest memories? And they don't have to be of sport.
Ever since I could remember, my brother Brock, he played baseball. And so when my sister Anna, she immediately, picked up a bat because that's what Brock did. So it was the cool thing to do. My sister's actually fully left-handed, throws left, hits left. When I came along, I literally wanted to do anything my sister did. So she picked up the bat left-handed, and I was like, well, I guess this is the thing I do. So I picked up the bat left-handed, and my dad has been my coach for as long as I can remember. He was like, you know what? I like it. Let's just roll with it. My dad has been my hitting coach my whole life.
And what about mom? Was mom involved too?
Not really. She more was just our cheerleader. Having my mom as a completely opposite role of my dad is honestly just a breath of fresh air because I could vent to her and her, listen. Both roles they played in my life is phenomenal.
What does it mean to be a coach's daughter?
Gosh, I guess that's a really good question. I've never thought about that. But growing up, you don't know any better as far as what it takes to be coached. Because when you're learning how to play sports in the front yard, whether you believe it or not, your dad's coaching you. And that's when it comes into, are you coachable or not? I would say my dad at an early age, made us very coachable because we were receptive. And then when we start playing for other coaches and travel ball and this and that, it's, are they able to tell you something in a mean way or even in a nice way and you be able to respond versus, oh, you just yelled at me. It's taking what they're telling you, understanding it, not in the tone that they told you, but understanding it and being able to do it.
So how many brothers and sisters do you have?
So I'm the youngest of three. I have one older brother, and then my sister's in the middle.
You said your older brother played football?
Yeah, so he is actually a 5-star quarterback in high school. One of the best quarterbacks in his grade. He committed to Georgia. He was there for 3 years, red-shirted, never really got to play, was under Carson Beck, Stetson Bennett. Transferred to Kentucky his last year. He went through some things and just decided to medically retire last year. My sister, she plays volleyball. And she just graduated from Eastern Kentucky. She went to play volleyball there.
When did you realize you were, pardon my French, fast as
Let's see. I started running track in 7th grade. Skinny little pasty white girl in my tennis shoes, didn't even have track shoes. And I honestly was doing it because I liked running. So I started running the 100 and 200 my 7th grade year in tennis shoes, and I was winning. And so I was like, what kid doesn't like winning? And so I kind of became obsessed with it. I was like, wow, I may actually be good. So I guess my breakthrough moment was probably my 8th grade year. This meet was coming up. They'd been talking about how good this school was, how good the sprinters were there. And I just, it was my 2nd year running track. I was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna go give it my best shot. Well, I won. And so I was like, these girls are supposed to be fast? Anyways, and that night was when, COVID happened. The world kind of shut down. So 8th grade was cut short, track. But that day I was like, holy cow, this could be awesome. And so I guess 9th grade came around, got me some spikes, learned how to use the blocks, and I lost .01 in the state championship to my brother's fiance. She was a senior, I was a freshman, and I lost .01 state runner-up freshman year.
Did you win in the next year or anything like that?
So my sophomore year, she had graduated. This is actually funny. I was state runner-up again to one of the girls who runs track here. She's a freshman. Junior year, finally got my get back, doubled it, won the 100 and 200 meter. My senior year is cut short with an injury.
Okay, let's go back to softball now. Did you learn to weaponize your speed in softball?
I had always hit. I had never slapped.
I don't know what that means.
Slapping is like what really fast girls do that don't have a lot of pop. So they like chop it into the ground and run. So a few people had tried to get me to slap and my dad was like, no, we're not doing that. She's just gonna hit. And I'd never been a flashy home run hitter, but I always had speed on the ball and I always could hit it pretty well. And so when I was beating out ground balls to second and I was stealing second standing up, I was like, well, dang, I guess track does translate. My freshman year, I was fast. But what you don't realize whenever you run track is you have to be fast, but a lot of it is form and how you run. They call it like softball arms, but every softball player runs like this. If you watch it, all of them run like this. No track runner runs like that. And so I immediately had to fix my arms when I ran, and whether you believe it or not, that makes you faster because when you're running, you don't run like this. You run like this, so this is like generating movement that is wasted. Another thing is when you run, you want your knees to be up and reaches out so you're covering more ground. I still obviously don't have it all figured out, but when I kind of got that concept down, and it took me a year or two. Like I wouldn't say it was easy by all means, but I was so obsessed with being fast. And yes, I knew it was awesome to win in track, but I knew how much it would help me in softball. So that's, I think, why I became so just fascinated by it because I just loved it.
At what point were you like, I really want to focus on softball? How old do you think you were when that came into your head?
Ever since I was a little girl, I always knew I wanted to play sports in college. But I probably wouldn't say I knew what sport until my freshman or sophomore year of high school. From an early age, our parents told us that we had to find a way to get our college paid for, no matter what it was. So I knew from 3 years old I had to figure something out. So probably my 8th grade year, they had told us to start sending emails. They were telling us to, kind of get yourself on the radar, let them know who you are. When I started sending out emails, some would respond, some wouldn't. They would send camp invites, and my dad was just like, they're money wasters, we're not going to camps. They see you at the tournaments. So when all this was happening, my brother was going through his recruitment. And obviously it was from the best of the best. I remember spring break of my 7th grade year, we just took a trip, a week-long trip of visits. We went to Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, came back, went to Alabama. I remember I went to the Oklahoma softball field. Lincoln Riley was the head coach at the time. They brought out Kalani Ricketts, really good pitcher there, to meet me. I thought I was the coolest girl ever. I remember being in Saban's office, shaking his hand as a 7th grader. So at a young age, I knew, dreaming big, I wanted to play for an SEC school. So honestly, like top 5, Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama. And so my dad told me, all right, you have a 24-hour rule. Can't commit on a visit. Can't do it. because every visit you're gonna think it's awesome. I didn't want to go to Georgia because Brock was there at the time. And my whole life I had been following in my older brother's footsteps. I love my brother. He's the reason I do what I do. But I really was like, I want to go somewhere else. And people say Vandagriff because of me. They don't say it because of Brock Vandagriff's little sister. On the way home from Alabama, I had a pros and cons list of all the schools. And I put my earphones in and I just went down the list. I fell in love with Alabama because they sell out every game. You know, they lead the country in attendance. Softball's valued here. There's so many SEC schools that, yeah, they may be good, but no one knows what's going on in the softball world. Everybody knows how Alabama softball is. They know Coach Murphy, his legacy. Like, that's awesome. My whole senior year, I had kind of checked out from high school. I was the last kid at home. I was getting kind of tired of my parents. I didn't have, you know, my sister to gang up on my brother with. Like, there was none of that. So when they left the house, I was ready. Getting to Alabama was honestly like the best thing for me because I had been anticipating it for a year and a half now. I had a mindset of, you know, I'm gonna come in here, I'm a freshman, I don't know what the culture is like. I don't know how they do it around here, so whatever the coaches tell me, I'm just gonna say, yes ma'am, yes sir, and I'm gonna do it. I was going to find a way to help the team, whether that was to be a cheerleader. I told my dad, I said, Dad, I don't care if I play my freshman year, but I can tell you one thing, I can pinch run because I know I'm fast. So honestly, having those expectations for myself, what I think was honestly something that helped me get through each and every day. My first at bat was at Arizona. I was batting 8-hole.
Audrey Vandagriff, a lefty, digging in.
I want to say runners were at first and second, and the pitcher I was facing was my teammate from travel ball. She was a freshman as well.
Did you wink at her?
No, I was all business.
2-2, line to left field, and that's going to go to the wall. Gardner chases after it. One run will score on the double by Audrey Vandagriff, and we're tied at one.
I roped one left center gap, got a double, and just tears. I couldn't believe that I had made it. What I've dreamed of my whole life, what I've worked towards my whole life, it's here. Like, it was honestly one of the most emotional times of my life. I made it. I made it.
And Alabama wins 5-1, your final score.
I had a phenomenal weekend. I was at the highest of highs. But I remember just thinking, like, you know, it all starts over next weekend. One thing my dad, I guess, has always preached to me is to stay even-keeled. Like, don't get too high and don't get too low. No one cares what you did last weekend. So I kind of had to, you know, when Monday rolled around, Tuesday rolled around, I had to, you know, get back to neutral and start from scratch. Because, you know, no at-bat is given to you. You have to earn it. And so the next weekend we went down to Clearwater, Florida.
2025 Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational. 4th-ranked UCLA coming in undefeated to take on 12th-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. It's been Audrey Vandagriff and this Crimson Tide offense that's been the story here today. She swings on this one, tailing, and in to the outfield, over the wall in center field. Vandagriff leads it off here in the bottom of the first for Bama with a big swing and home run.
I did phenomenal. Hit my first home run off of one of the girls that was in my region for softball.
Pitch of this ball game, practicing her swing, practicing trying to get on top of that rise ball that she knew she was going to see. This pitch hanging out right about thigh high. She gets her barrel.
It was kind of like a surreal moment because She gave me enough strikeouts in high school.
Vandagriff in the center field once more. Can she do it off the wall this time? Stays in the park. But another RBI, 2 today for the freshman Audrey Vandagriff.
The barrel control that Audrey Vandagriff has been able to show through the first 2 weekends of her young.
I was on all tournament team, and I grew up watching this tournament. Honestly, I still was caught in this, I guess, mindset that I really cannot believe that all this is happening. You know, I'm facing pitchers that I've seen play for the last 2 years that are phenomenal. And then I would get on first and I'd be like, no way, I got a hit off her. She's so good. I guess I was just always in awe of where I was at. I just could hardly believe it. I had no expectations for myself, so I had nothing to be disappointed in if I failed.
It's Monday night for softball from the Rhodes House. Another near sellout crowd expected for the rubber match in a series pitting two titans of the sport. It's Oklahoma, it's Alabama on a mic'd up Monday. We can't wait for first pitch coming up.
Tell me about this walk-off home run. Is there a story from your perspective?
There's always a story within a story. Always.
After game one, where they struggled to string some things together until the
We were playing Oklahoma, best team in the country. The series was split 1-1. We'd taken one from them. It was tied 1-1 at the top of the 8th.
Fly ball hugging the line in left. Vandagriff tracking, then makes the catch 2 away.
And I was standing out in left field. I was like, I got a hit. I'm next. I'm leading off. I got a hit. I just prayed, literally the whole 3 outs. If the ball was hit to me, I hope I'd catch the ball. Because I was like, dear Lord, give me the strength, calm my nerves, make me just relaxed when I step in the box. Let this be your strength, work through me. Please, I need you.
Dayton to second, Hevelin on to first, and Riley again pitches her way out of the jam. Vandagriff, Hevelin, Elstad, 1, 2, 3, 2 up in the bottom of the 8th for Alabama.
Put on my batting gloves, put everything on, and my heart is just beating, just out of my chest. You know, walk-up song comes on, it goes off, Audrey Vandagriff. I'm ready to step in the box, and I take a deep breath. I'm, getting chills thinking about it. But I just remember when I took the deep breath, I was just calm. And I truly believe it, solely was a God thing, and He's the source of my strength and the reason why I'm even here today. That night I was on. I think I was 2 for 3 before going up to bat. She was the same pitcher. She pitched the first game and she pitched the last game, so I'd seen her about 8 or 9 times. And honestly, I'd prayed God, just let me get on. Please just let me help my team in some way. She pitched me a fastball inside.
Vandagriff into left field, headed towards the wall, it's gone! Walk-off in the 8th, and Bama takes the series from Oklahoma.
I'm not a home run hitter by all means, so that was the last thing that I expected, but it truly was amazing. My goals are just to be a great teammate, to help the team in any way possible. My role may look a little different this year. I may have to be more of a leader this year, more than just kind of a lead by example, which is kind of out of character, but I'm more than happy to do so. I want to win a SEC championship, and I want to win a national title. That's probably my biggest dream. But other than that, You know, I'm living it. Like, I'm living my goal in life and the thing that I worked so hard for. So I guess there's not anything that would disappoint me at this point. My name's Audrey Vandagriff. I play softball at the University of Alabama, and this is my story.